All right. Should be all good to go. Should be all live here talking about the Monday Night Football game. I was just finishing up putting my stuff up on Stakings if you guys do want to be on that for those that want to hail me. Go ahead and share this. Let me get on good old SaberSim and we can start talking about this game. Multiple things about this. Let's see here. Do that. This one is already sold, so sorry, but my FanDuel one is still. I just put that up right before this one up. I'm actually really excited about this slate. It's pretty ugly from a from just a build standpoint. I don't now. Obviously, when I'm trying to figure out where people are going to go and build and everything, you always have to weigh in what the quarterbacks can end up doing. I don't think that there is a huge risk of Trevor or Patrick Mahomes being the highest scorer on the slate. Obviously, they can pass to whatever, or everybody, whatever. But I don't really think we have to worry about that. So that opens the door up for, especially a lot of uncertainty around everybody. I mean, the entirety of Kansas City and Jacksonville's offense looks pretty disgusting. And I especially after following last night, I'm really, really concerned we get a stinker here because anytime we have low scoring slates, I just do fucking terrible. I only did okay yesterday because I had Kincaid as the captain in a majority of my lineups. So first off the bat, I do want to talk about two things. Obviously, everybody's talking about Smith from Kansas City. At least somewhat expected to have a slight increase in the workload. I'll build and see what I end up getting him. I do want to at least have, probably just 5 to 8% of him in general. And I really like what's his name? I really, really, really like Strange tonight. He will be one of the captains. So I don't really like anybody on this slate. It's similar to a lot of like NASCAR slates where I don't really like anybody. I just end up, who's my favorite play? It's probably Strange from a point per dollar perspective, especially because he's very equivalent to what Kelsey is. And if you want to play Kelsey, I would just encourage you to play Strange today. But when we're looking at, actually, let's go ahead and move these bad boys. If you want to go ahead and have access to our stuff, obviously when Cheats puts his stuff up and everything. I don't know when Goldie's ownership projections were uploaded, so I'm going to keep it on SaberSim for now. I mean, Thomas has been pretty terrible. Everybody on the slate has underperformed, obviously. I'm probably going to end up going with Xavier Bryan just because nobody is expected to really play him with how piss poor he's been, and I really, really like Strange. It's hard to get to Kelsey, right? He's been underperforming like crazy. Same thing with Brown. With Brown or with Xavier being back, I think it really hinders what Brown can do. Past that, we really don't have anybody else who can truly take off. You might argue that Juju might be in that same. Let's go ahead and build and see what the freaking heck the field is getting doing stuff. I imagine I'll probably have the same mentality on FanDuel. It's probably going to be Thomas and Xavier over there, but I do want to see what people are building. If you guys have anything specifically you want me to look at or my opinion and stuff, with my very limited care on the actual bald knowledge stuff. Right, what's going on, Andy? Happy to have you here. I want to see what is being given here on these contests. Now, yet again, I always end up rerunning stuff once we get inactives because I almost always have people that are ruled out just for a value range. I do want to say that I would encourage you to have at least in any slate, especially at this point because we're seeing kickers just be able to kick farther and everything. I would highly encourage you to, yet again, this comes from me playing, hundreds of lineups or whatever. But I like having the kickers over the defenses. I already did, but now I'm very happy sitting anywhere between 22 to 25% on both kickers on whatever slate, whatever teams they are. I think that's a very, very smart move, is to just always have more kickers. Not in the captain, but so what in the freaking heck are we looking at today? So Mahomes, Lawrence, Thomas, and again, this is sim results and stuff, right? But it's still wanting me to do quite a lot of Thomas and Lawrence here. I'm not playing Pacheco. I'm not playing Hunt in the captain. I know that for sure. See, so my biggest issue, at least from a build perspective, is when people, at least I don't play like this, but I really just don't enjoy having stuff like this at all. Like, what is the point of playing Pacheco in these these 6 lineups in your portfolio? Like, what is the point of having that? But I do like looking at what is being given out here. So Lawrence, Thomas, right? Mahomes. Like, I want to be drastically over Mahomes in the flex. I've done this enough to where I already know that Mahomes is probably going to be my highest guy in the flex. Lawrence should probably be second. Then it's probably going to be, I'm going to guess ETN, and then I don't know actually who comes in after that on my stuff. I just want to look really quick here. So, also, secondly, I really like Cam Little today. Okay, I'm not saying we need to go out of the way or whatever, but I like Cam Little well over Butker, because this is so stupid. The kickers should, especially in a game like this, these guys, all intents and purposes, have the exact same floor, exact same outcome. I don't really why would you not just take the discount on ownership and pricing on Cam Little? I want to see where this other stuff comes in at. I'm just kind of seeing where we're at here. Okay, so that's kind of where the field is at. So let's go ahead and really goof around and see where I'm at here. Yet again, I haven't played a FanDuel a lot this year. I just end up having some bonus bucks for not cashing a damn thing yesterday. So I was like, all right, we'll play this one because I like this game a lot more than the Thursday game coming up. So I'm sorry, I got a bit of a head cold over here, but I don't have a cough button, so we're just gonna stuck with that. Oops, wrong one. Didn't mean to get a kid in there. Get off there, bro. Like I said, I'm really not wanting to use Brown. Okay, now this might be. I really try not to have any bias at all, right? I play very. I think I pride myself on not having any biases or anything, but I've been playing Hollywood Brown since he was on this team last year. I played him in classic slates. I played him in showdown slates. I have done, Thanksgiving slate last year, whatever. I've played Hollywood Brown in everything I can play him in. I've drafted him in all my stupid ass home leagues over these last 2 years. This guy has not done a fucking thing for me in my entire life. He's disappointed me the entirety of the last 8 months, right? I have been low-key very tilted at what Hollywood Brown has been doing. I really hate feeling that way towards a player. I really feel like that keeps me from playing good. And right now, Hollywood Brown is the only player that I have anything like that feeling to. But yeah. I'm going to play Strange in the captain. I'm going to be frank. I honestly want 8 to 10% Brenton Strange. With how expensive everybody else is, I really, really, really do think that Strange can have a day of 12 points. And I think he can do a lot. At his price tag and getting people in your lineups. My last one is like I'm really trying to consider Juju. I'm gonna see what I end up getting him in the flex here. If I feel like I don't have any in the flex, I think I will rerun later. Or when I do rerun later, I'll have some in the captain. But actually, both situations. If I have like no Juju in the flex, that'll probably push me to wanting to have some in the captain just because nobody's playing them. If I end up having a lot in the flex, kind of same thing. I'd rather just have that ownership in the captain versus having him flex. If I'm kind of hoping when this runs, I end up with like anywhere from 28 to 34% Juju, but I don't know if that's going to happen here. I'm not going to change anything else. Yeah, we're gonna do everything after the fact. See if any questions in here. Any interest in Thornton tonight? No, just because or in the flex, I get any amount of Thornton that I end up getting. But I just like the guys that I have in captain at the moment more than Thornton, and then usually I end up naturally getting to people like that anyway with my exposure rates. The second thing I'm going to do is what I always do is I always lower my exposure to defenses, and I typically always get up overweight with those cheaper plays and stuff. As soon as I finish this, I'm going to take a nap for an hour because I feel like crap, bro. Let's see. You know what's so funny is this is a slate where so let's see. So I've done this enough to where I actually don't hold on. Well, no, I only have one Kansas City captain actually. Yeah, I don't like that at all. I like Strange tonight, man. That's kind of my rationale of slamming in. I want 8% minimum of Strange today. I might include Juju in the what is it? Damn, that's still at 17. I don't want to look at these lines on camera, but is that covered? I guess it would be. Yeah, 17's covered enough bases with Strange. That's fine. You asked about Thornton. I might need to change. Okay, another crossroads, right? Kansas City has made me a lot of money in the past, right? In previous years. Last 8 months, not so much. I've got, between Kelsey falling off a cliff, between Kelsey killing fucking Worthy on week 1, between Hollywood Brown doing jack all, no running backs on Kansas City doing anything. Like I'm kind of, super tilted on Kansas City, right? I don't really like anybody from that team today in the captain position. It feels wrong. They're 25 point, or they're 5-point favorites, but they're 4.5 or whatever the fuck it is. But I don't like them today. So like initially, I'm like, yeah, I want Mahomes to be my highest captain, but I don't fucking have his guys in the captain, or I want Mahomes as my highest dude in the flex, but I don't have his guys in the captain. So like, of course it's going to be Trevor Lawrence. So I guess I'm rooting for Jacksonville more than what I thought today, right? I was right with ETN being here. I don't like that. That's a disaster. I don't want 30% Jacksonville. That is ridiculous, dude. That is so stupid. I don't want that at all. I hate having underdog defenses, dude. I don't mind. Actually, I've been pretty successful playing teams that are going to be playing from behind in captain, but why would I play the Jacksonville defense? So what is going on here? So we got Trevor, Patrick, Etienne, Harrison, Butker, which let's kind of bump these guys up a little here, or get them closer in line. And then we can go ahead and look at Thornton here. Last thing I didn't do is I didn't adjust the salary. And again, I'm rerunning stuff anyway today. I just kind of want to see what we're getting here. I usually end up rerunning with a max salary, whatever, anywhere from 499 to 496, 495, depending on where it is. Because I'm playing strange, I need to not probably be as restrictive on that, so I can get some pretty decent strange lineups in. But let's see, Kareem Hunt. I don't like. Actually, it's Hunt over Pacheco, so that's not bad. 25, 26, 23, Cam Little over Butker. That, my only take is I like Strange. I like Cam Little over Butker today. Brown, 21. Other Brown at 19. Chiefs at 18. So when you naturally, or at least when I lower the defenses, I naturally end up getting more to people like, Thornton or Brown or whatever. Same thing with Smith. I want to see what Smith is at here. But this is usually what I end up doing here. See if there's anything else here. No problem, Andy. Let's see. I have no Juju Smith-Schuster. That is not where I want to be at. I got a lot of Smith, though. Well, we got 15 Smith. He's projected for 13. I'm fine with that. Kelsey looks so terrible, man. He looks so bad. Thornton is about right with the field. Oh, man, so looking at this, right? I'm playing everybody that has a projection. I'm sure some of these guys will be ruled out. Oh, man, dude. This Juju one's going to be concerning here because I'm under the field on Juju Smith-Schuster. So let's talk about this in great detail because this is a decision that actually matters. I have to think about, right? This is what Sabres has him projected for. What are his game logs? Let's look at that because I really don't like doing that. But for a situation like this, let's go see it. I want to look at his props and everything here. So what is good old Smith-Schuster talking about? 13-9, 1-5-10, right? And he's 48, scoring 10. So what is his projection for? 7.6. Yet again, by how I would do stuff, I would probably have Juju Smith-Schuster at what is. I guess I can just look later. I would have Juju Smith-Schuster projected for 9.5 points, 10 points today, because that is where he's been at. I mean, one whatever, we weren't going to score fucking 0 all the time, right? But I would have him higher than what his projection. Oops, wrong one. Higher than what his projection is on Sabres and Sue. Do I not like anything about these captain exposures? What's going on over here? Which we're on, I mean, with 50% Thompson, we are on a fucking train towards annoyance and depression here for sure. I don't really like 50% here. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to add Juju Smith-Schuster to the captains under no other reasoning than I just don't like how little I'm getting of him, and I don't like how low what I think his projection is. Now, again, Worthy is back, whatever, right? But, dude, I want another thing is I want Worthy right at 40, right? And I already got everybody else kind of where I want them at in terms of ownership. Like I said, no Juju Smith-Schuster in the fly. I mean, he's 16, but that's basically nothing, right? Probably 250 lineups. Haven't even 20. 19%. I don't really like that. So it seems like a place to get leverage on the field, especially on such an ugly slate to where there's really no dominant two. Whatever is it called? A running back. There's no running back who can catch and run in this game, right? On both teams. So everybody's isolated to their area of, expertise, wide receiver or running back. And so that I think that opens the door up for more guys potentially get in there. I'm already not playing Kelsey. I'm already not playing Hollywood. I probably want a second captain from Kansas City. So I think I am going to use Juju and Xavier, and then Strange and Thompson from Jacksonville. I typically don't like spreading stuff out that much, because then I would like having more of the captains from Jacksonville side, but yet again, I'm so sorry, my phone keeps going off here. So like naturally, I'm already getting 6% Juju. I think that's fine. Lower Thompson, so I just swapped a little bit of Thompson for Juju, so I think that's perfectly fine. I'll put him at 8 as well. And I want to go ahead and see what I have in the flex here. But I mean, this is my process. This is what I get. I get paid to talk about. I get paid to show. But this is when I close that. So what I do. So let's see what is changing over here in the flex. Right, I should have way less Juju in the flex. So now I'm back to So now this is what I like to see. Right, huge ownership over the field on both quarterbacks. ETN there, Little there, Hunt, whatever, Butker, Travis Hunter, Thompson, Kelsey, Pacheco, Brown. This is exposure that I like, right? This is what I want to see. Okay. This is what I wanted to see. And I didn't have to change much to get it. I just had to change some defensive exposure and add Juju after careful consideration. Now I'm looking at ownership or my exposure, and I'm like, all right, yeah, dude, I'm ready to rock and roll. I like a lot of this stuff. Tyquan Thornton, little under on Tyquan. I'm sure that'll go up once we get the inactives and stuff. Also, secondly, Tanner Gray won me a lot of money like 2 years ago because nobody would play him. Now he's like 5 to 10% owned, and in every slate he's like unplayable now because he doesn't do enough. Eddie used to be like 400, now he's 24. Yeah, this is what I'm liking here. I'm probably gonna get I would anticipate that some of these guys down here are going to be the inactives and stuff. But and I got to update the max min salary and stuff here. But this is what I'm liking. This is what I'm talking about here. FanDuel, I got to decide if I want to be higher on. Well, actually, I'm probably gonna use the same guys on FanDuel. Actually, let me. Actually, I haven't even looked at the salary yet, so let's go ahead and do that really fast here. And I'll do FanDuel off air because I want to go lay down and stuff. I want to go take a nap. But let me go ahead and look through where these guys are at here. Thompson is so expensive. Lawrence is really cheap. That's okay. Very be interested in playing Lawrence. Xavier, huge drop off between fucking nobody here. Juju at 6,000. Boy, Strange at 46. I mean, I'm kind of eyeballing these guys really fast. I kind of like Lawrence and the captain here. FanDuel, I'm much more open to playing quarterback just because you don't have you have half point PPR and stuff. But I kind of like Trevor, Xavier. Where's Thomas is 12.6. That's still crazy. Oh, this would be the one. He's been pretty bad. I got to think about that. Strange at 46 is still interesting too. Okay. Brown, okay, whatever. I think that's mainly my thoughts and opinions. I'm pretty much kind of where I want to be on a good portion of those guys. That's where I'm going to be at. If you guys have any more questions or anything, feel free to jump in the Discord and you can ask me. I'll show my final exposures as I always do before the slate locks tonight. As stated, if you want, some of my action you can find on Stake Kings. But other than that, I think that's mainly it for this Thursday night game. I think it's just going to be end up rooting for these Jaguars and stuff. So see you guys later. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you later. Bobby will be live tonight talking about this from his thing. I just won't be joining him. Anyway, yeah, see you guys later. Bye-bye.